Peace. I'm Akram Alim, and this is Single Fathers Network, the podcast. I'm honored to once again have the opportunity to chat with a father who's navigating the highs and lows of parenting on his own. He's here to share his journey as a father, as well as hopefully some of the lessons, struggles, and victories that have shaped him along the way. So if you would please join me in welcoming Kisasi Swan as he opens up about life, fatherhood, and a few things in between. How you doing, brother?
I'm blessed, man.
Good to see you as always.
Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks for having me on tonight.
I would like to ask a general question to begin this interview, man. Like, how do you feel as a whole about life in general, about your place in your journey? Are you cool? Are you?
I mean, I guess overall, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's I guess being a father and then a man, like fatherhood defines you as a man. You know what I mean? So with those lows, you kind of go on those highs and lows of life.
Yeah.
And the mental ups and downs. Just trying to navigate through these court systems and stuff. So I mean, but I guess I've kind of learned how to make lemonade with the lemons that life has given me. And
I wasn't even getting to that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Jumping the gun.
I mean, my bad, yeah, but that's just, I just kind of keep all that in perspective, you know what I mean?
I wanted to separate that because I was just curious where your headspace was at.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, I'm good.
It's important to know where you are individually in dealing with all the hurdles that you encounter as a father.
Yeah. That's one of the things I've been trying to learn to kind of separate myself at times, because it's just being a father does consume you so much, so
I definitely understand.
I think it's been a while since I really thought about like just me.
Speaking of, there's a extracurricular activity that you're involved in that is relative to parenting, if you would like to share.
I was trying to start an organization, and then called Fathers to Fathers.
Okay.
And then I met a gentleman out of Florida called, his name was Dr. Bernard Jennings, and he had passed a equal parenting law in Florida, which gave unmarried fathers 50-50 was the presumption.
Okay.
It was automatic presumption. So they started at 50-50, and it's the mother's burden of proof to show why the father doesn't deserve 50-50, so
okay. It guarantees it unless she has proof of otherwise.
Correct. Yeah.
Does it outline like what are the parameters of that proof?
Yeah, basically like, no sexual assault, no sexual abuse, it's those dangerous type situations, that are kind of outlined in Arizona statutes that kind of can keep fathers away from the children as well, though, but I met Daryl to actually, kind of discuss helping me with mine, and then it's just things weren't just moving how I wanted to, and then I just kind of gravitated towards, and just started really liking what Daryl already had with Single Fathers Network, and I'm just ready to get things moving. I've been fighting this fight for 10 years, man.
Yeah. Can you explain how what you started is relative to your journey as a father?
I just
because visitation is a big concern, right, in your situation.
Yeah. Visitation right now is like, my visitation is there. I still don't have 50-50 right now, and that's all I've been pretty reasonable asking for 50-50, over the years I've kind of gradually gotten a little bit more, but kind of like looking at how things have progressed, and I'm like, man, I might get 50-50 when my daughter's 17, 18 years old,
To decide on her own.
Yeah, and I miss her childhood, she's damn near a preteen now, so I've missed a lot of her childhood.
What does the visitation look like currently?
Right now, I get her after school from 1 o'clock till 7:30, and then every other weekend I pick her up on Fridays at 5 o'clock, and then she goes back to her mother's at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So I essentially get 49 hours. So I'm a visitor in my daughter's life for what, 4 or 5 days a month.
Yeah.
Have
you been able to establish like some type of support system, aid in Is it just you with the pickups and like how do you maintain? Because you have to have time for personal stuff.
I mean, I have a flexible work schedule, so that's been a huge blessing, So, I've tried other things, and my mother used to help me, when I was a regular W-2 or had a regular 9-to-5 job.
Gotcha.
But now I just pretty much wanted to just have that flexibility to where, on my weekends I can not work at all. And then I do get holidays. Holidays are rotated between her mother and I,
Right.
So like this right now is her mother's fall break. So, I won't see my daughter for almost 3 weeks now, but next year I'll get her for fall break. So I have that ability to take time off.
Right. Do you feel like, since you're maintaining two different households, that like the absence of her mother in your household creates an issue for like her social development, or you understand what I'm saying? Like, I know it's going to create an issue because mom isn't in the home, but what type of effect is that having her? Like, what do you see as a result of that?
I mean, I don't really notice much, like in a negative way.
Yeah.
I know when she's with me, I do things with her. I try to, I work on her confidence. I work on her affirmations. I have her, hey, what does daddy teach you? I have her, I teach, she's like, hey, I'm a beautiful Black woman. I'm beautiful the way God made me. I'm a leader, not a follower. I tell her to say those things,
right?
Because like now, because she's mostly in her mother's care, my daughter is pre-diabetic now, so now she's starting to experiencing bullying, so now these lessons and stuff that I'm teaching her are starting to be able to come and play now, so I'm like, hey, baby girl, remember how daddy tells you this and this and this is why,
right.
So I'm able to put these lessons and show the examples of, so when she's with me, she seems more confident, and even just looking at old videos, she was, oh man, what, about 5 years old, 5 or 6. And we used to go to the city pool over in Chandler. And I mean, baby girl was jumping off the diving board into the 13 feet deep pool,
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, it's, being able to give her that confidence, to be strong, you know what I mean? And
you guys ever get the opportunity to do things as a unit, or it's not part of the equation?
It's more so like last time I've done I did, it was my year for her birthday. We rotated every other year. And, I'll do things, I'll do things, but it's never reciprocated.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask my daughter, and hey, daddy's going to take you out to dinner, and hey, can I invite mom? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I'll text her mom, and, I bought dinner for, she had her son with her too. So,
yeah.
For me, it's all about my daughter, you know what I mean? And,
do you wing it when you're with her, or you always try to have something kind of planned out? Or
probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I have things planned out, and also too, it depends on money situation. Money can get tight sometimes, with especially paying with court fees and stuff, like well, legal fees, not court fees, but yeah, that when I'm trying to save up, or I've just paid attorney fees, money can get tight, so we'll kind of do things,
yeah,
that don't cost as much money, but we do quite a bit though.
Yeah. What does that feel like in the time that you're not with her? I know it takes a lot, I would assume, to muster up the energy to be able to continue to, a lot of steps you got to go through fighting all these years.
Yeah, it's it gets tough sometimes, like my daughter is just really like, when I see her, and she gives me those hugs, those kind of energize me again, just kind of give me that quick charge to kind of just give me that little extra to, to remember why I'm doing this,
right?
So I mean, there was a few times, before I got like the holiday schedule, to where I just hated like Christmas, I didn't even go out and spend time with the family, you know, because I didn't have her, and it was just like, man, you know. So holidays were rough for a while, you know, just ultra depressed and, you know, just missing my baby, you know.
And that was still where you had rotating holidays, or that was no holidays?
That was before, yeah. I was before like I had that current holiday schedule.
What was the initial arrangement with?
Oh man, my visitation for a while was, so my daughter's mother we had joint legal decision making with her having final say.
Okay.
But she never really discussed anything. She just moved on her own, you know what I mean? And then just kind of did things on, you know, after the fact. Oh, hey, I did this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And after her doing that so much, I was able to get joint legal decision making with neither one of us having final say, because I asked for that so I can try to co-parent with her. But I had 1 week, I had Monday, what was it? Monday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. during school hours. The judge gave me my parenting time during school hours.
Interesting.
Right. And it was during her kindergarten year. And I asked for a reconsideration. I'm like, hey, how am I supposed to have my parenting time when she enrolled her in school? Didn't even consider, yeah, you know, and of course I got shut down by the judge, right. You know, and, you know, with the fact that kindergarten is not a truant grade, you know, the attorney that I had at the time was like, well, you know, you can still exercise your parenting time, you know. So I had her during those. I'd pick her up from school, from kindergarten, and take her back at 1 o'clock, and then I would have her
take her back to school.
Yeah.
So then mom could pick her up from school.
Yep. Yeah, it was just a lot of ridiculous back and forth, man. Yeah. It's complete unnecessary stuff, you know.
So mom pick her up now out of school. What time do you return her the same evening now still?
Well, her mom gets her now, yeah. So I pick her up from school at 1 o'clock. Now, yeah, because her school gets half days on Wednesdays, early dismissal.
Is that the only day you pick her up, on Wednesday? Or
every Wednesday is consistent, yeah. Okay. Unless she's on holiday schedule, you know, which is she's on vacation now with her mom.
So it's Wednesdays and weekends?
Wednesday and every other weekend, yeah. Every other weekend, yeah.
Yeah. And that's after how many years in?
How did it? That just got in, I want to say last year, so 9 years in, man.
Continuously?
Yep.
That seems a little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, you know. The fact that they could come in and just say whatever without proof and sway these judges on whatever, you know what I mean? And
I was going to ask that. What was the premise of it not being, because Arizona's supposed to be a 50-50 state.
Supposedly, yeah.
So what was the premise of it not being that initial?
I mean, there's still too much. Granted, yeah, it is apparently a 50-50 state.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much a mother state, but there's still too much discretion with the judges. Yeah. You know, the judges can still go in and say this and this and this. You know, I don't agree with this. You know, you have a lot of judges that are just anti-dads. Yeah. You know, I mean.
But was she making complaints in addition to that?
Oh, I mean, she would just throw stuff up at the wall, see what sticks. You know what I mean? You know, I'm definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm a believer in my 2A rights. You know what I mean? And she knows that I carry. You know, and I mean, just even as far as saying, I pulled my firearm out with my daughter in the car, pointing at another passenger. I'm just like, really, you know, and you know, it's just, she was found out that was a lie, but still no repercussions, you know. But it's still, you know, a lot of time fathers are guilty until proven innocent, you know, versus other side there, you know, they get the benefit of the doubt several times over.
Yeah.
You know.
That's your only child?
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't do this again.
I was going to ask, is it that part of that is because of this portion of the journey?
Yeah. And I mean, also, I'm, you know, being 47, I'm not trying to start over again. Yeah. You know, I'm now, my pop started over at 49. I'm good. Yeah. I'm halfway there. So.
Yeah, creeping,
man. Yep.
I'm happy about it though. I'm in a good place.
Yeah,
I feel good about it.
for a while, I was like, if I dated again, I was kind of open, but that window is slowly started closing and
Oh,
it's
you're
pretty much closed.
closing it to everything.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, hey, snip, snip.
Yeah.
Look at it. Ain't even.
So you don't date?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just like to the point, like I'm not. She wants kids. Hey, probably ain't gonna work out. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because we're around the same age. The women I would typically date, I would assume that they're done. I would hope.
Right. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, I'm sorry that it's taken that long to get that far, but
Yeah.
every advancement is an advance. So
Right.
what happened with? You said you attempted to start. What happened with the whole attempting to start a father's and then that act?
Yeah. Like I'm still looking at trying to. There's been some movement of the Good Dad Act across the country and stuff. There's a couple other states that has passed out of Florida as well, so it's starting to gain a little momentum. But it's still trying to figure out how it could play into Arizona laws as well, with Arizona already having, I would call loose 50-50 laws, you know what I mean?
Have you made adaptations to it based on the way the law works here, or?
No, so I submitted it, myself and Dr. Jennings submitted it to my local representative, my district representative, and she's a Democrat, and she loved it. She was actually on her way into the House, but it was also towards the end of the session last year. She gave it to the Republicans. Republicans loved it,
right?
But her Democratic counterparts shut it down. So I just kind of attribute that to them probably wanting to, I guess pick through it a little bit more.
Yeah. I guess a general question, like, what do you feel like are some of the biggest difficulties that you faced, like along the journey to get to this point?
The beginning, I would say just feeling stuck.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing who to talk to.
So there wasn't like a really solid support system initially, or?
Nah. I was, online looking, just, kind of started out. I just created some little bogus little Facebook group, which kind of just turned it into like a venting type thing. It's kind of like the stages of grieving,
right.
When your child is ripped away from you,
right.
Some bogus abuse charges and stuff. You feel angry a lot of times, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you just, all kinds of emotions running through your head, and then, like those stages of grief now, I have to say, a lot of the beginning, very angry.
Yeah.
Just like, man, I'm missing out. And how could she do this to me? How could a mother that claims she loves her child, dangle her kid in front of the dad like that? It's, I mean, I still wonder that too anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's not love, in my book.
Yeah. You just got to a point where you got tired of being angry, or?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it was like, it wasn't getting me anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not getting any, I'm not moving any closer to getting my daughter.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I can sit here and be angry, but I'm still missing my daughter, or I can put some action behind what I'm experiencing and try to actually make some change,
Did you get to that point on your own, or was that a result of people who came into your life or that existed in your life prior?
I will have to say I found people. I kind of searched out people that were in a similar situation, because even there's a lot of family that didn't really understand what I was going through, you know what I mean? And people would say, hey, why don't you just, I'm like, no, why don't I just do nothing? Like, I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells just to see my child. I shouldn't have to, kiss somebody's behind, just to see my child, you know what I mean?
What it just was, comply with everything.
Yeah. Oh, be nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it drove a huge wedge in a lot of my family relationships too. You know,
is that part of what made the process take so long, or you feel like it just would have been like this either way?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a combination of both.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like I say, a lot of people didn't really fully understand what was, what I was going through.
Yeah.
And then a combination of just not really knowing what to do. You know what I mean? And
so you kind of had a support system in place up until this situation? Like they caused the divide like that?
Yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah. Yep.
And then your search for people to share with is what led to you wanting to create the Fathers Group, ACT. That's kind of like a momentum thing.
Yeah. I met my old business partner through a coworker when I used to work at the casino, and he and I are still friends and whatnot. And I ended up I'm always online looking for just looking for resources and just from networking and just out chatting with people and looking online. I'm just always somebody that's trying to find that extra bit of information, and I stumbled on that Good Dad Act and was like, this could be it. And then through that, was involved with that for a few months, and then I met Daryl probably close to 6 months ago, and found out what he was doing with Single Fathers Network. I'm like, that's what's up.
So the Good Dad Act existed. Something you began to push, or
it existed in it birthed in Florida.
Okay.
And I stumbled on it on social media, I believe, and started just Googling it and researching it, and then I found Dr. Jennings' information, and then reached out to him, and then just became a team leader for the Good Dad Act out here for Arizona, because his goal is to get it passed nationwide.
Nice. Excuse me. He's in the process of like attempting to activate people in different regions to spread the word.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How was the reception? Are you still a part of it at all, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm focusing on joining the SFN family now. You know what I mean? Right. And I love what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And so I've shifted a lot of my focus on helping build SFN.
Right.
And so I'm still somewhat involved in the Good Dad Act a little bit. And there's still I feel like there's a lot of organizations that kind of play that tug of war type instead of just working together. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey man, I get it. Like, you want the same thing I want the same thing you want. It's like you may have a different path, a different set of directions to get to Glendale. You know what I mean? You may want to go down to 17 over to the 10 and up to 101.
Right.
I may want to take the 7. You know what I mean? But we can all get there. Yeah. So we all have different paths, and there's so many fathers groups that are doing something, and it's like, hey, let's just all like figure out how we can work together.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would share, like a particular message that you would share to fathers that might be experiencing situations similar to you?
Yeah, I would say just remember, through this process, I've learned a lot with learning. I learned a lot. I learned that being in, like, the amount of absent dads aren't just being absent, and I'm not condoning absent fatherhood, but I understand a little bit more. I understand it's not just deadbeat dads. I understand that it's fathers that didn't have enough to keep going,
right?
Who had just hit that rock bottom or hit that wall to where they're like, you know what, I just need that peace now, because it is mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, financially exhausting, and it exhausts all these resources and all these things out of you, to where it's like, I just can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like, I understand that now, because growing up, I used to always wonder, like, how could a man walk out on his children? Going through this now, I understand, because there's a lot of fathers that do just say, you know what, screw it, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't afford to do it anymore.
Man.
And on the other aspect, I see fathers who fully give up.
Yeah.
In some of the fathers groups, like at least a couple times a month, I get a notice of, we get a notice of a dad just ending it all. You know what I mean? And that's when I saw that, I'm like, man, something's got to change. Something has to change. And seeing that, it's just like, I've been mentally exhausted, even financially, to where paying for attorney fees has got me in arrears. You know what I mean? And I just remember why I'm doing it, so I just let my baby girl be my, they say people are your why. My daughter is my why, and that why has gotten so big, to where I can't stop. So I can't
know what's your reason.
Yep.
Why? Man, that's why it's important that we continue to build this family so we can share and know that and get to a point where we realize and understand that we're not fighting this fight alone.
Right.
We all have a story that resonates with somebody.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, shocked you and scares you away from all of it, huh?
Nah, but you know what though? I'm just like,
that's a lot though.
Being 47, my daughter is 10 and a half now, 18. My goal when she turns 18, be able to have that hallelujah no more. You know what I mean? Like that, I ain't got to deal with your mama no more type.
Were you all
trip.
married or?
No.
Ever been?
I was married before her.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing. Like even my ex-wife, I have no ill will. She's remarried now. I'm happy for her. And that was, I learned how to take accountability. And I just know I wasn't ready to be married when I was, and I was just too selfish. When I think having a daughter. And I think having children in general, just that really tests how selfish you really are. Having children and, being married is one level of testing your selfishness. Having kids fully test your how selfish you really are, because you have to be selfless to like the 100th degree, with kids.
Was that an adjustment for you?
A little bit, not too much so, because it's like, I think when you see that little person and just like how they light up when they see you, and like my daughter, she would just, she'd come running to me and everything, and she was just like, that was my mini me, and when you see somebody that just loves you so much, like it's like just falling in love instantly, and just I don't even know how to explain it really,
I had a very different experience, man. I was so used to toxicity that my initial reaction was almost like a detachment, because me and her mother were going through so much, and it got to a point for me where I was one of those people that just I threw my hands up and walked away.
Yeah,
because I was born in Michigan. That's how I got to Arizona.
Okay.
Like after dealing with that, I packed a duffel bag and bought a train ticket.
Yeah,
like figure it out.
Yeah.
So that adjustment I was asking you about smacked me like a ton of bricks, because by the time I had to make the adjustment to becoming selfless raising a daughter, it's very different than raising a son.
Yeah.
It's a different type of selflessness. I had to make that adjustment when she was grown. So I'm learning her
right
at the same time, and it's hard because you want to talk to her like a grown person.
Right.
She's got her own personality and everything already.
How old is she now?
25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grown, yeah.
And that process probably started at maybe 19.
Oh, wow.
And she had moved out here, and we attempted that for a minute.
Yeah.
And your daughter's always been in state? They're here?
Yeah.
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 That was never an issue?
No. I mean, she's moved around the valley a little bit, East Valley. You know, we
Mhm.
stayed pretty much East Valley, but yeah, I try to stay as close, you know, and that's just me. I'm like, hey, I'll pull a Kanye on her. You know, if she ever moved out of state, hey, I'm renting a house right across the street. Because I'm not leaving without my, you know, I'm not leaving without my baby girl. You know, that's my heartbeat.
I would like to ask, you tapped on briefly like those moments when you feel like giving up or walking away, or you understand how people would make that decision. When you reach those moments personally, like what is your outlet? What do you do to bring yourself back when you're not with her? I know you said she's a source of inspiration for you.
Yeah.
But I know there are times when she's not in the frame of your mind that sometimes you still have to bring yourself back to that.
I mean, there's times though where, you know, like I just get emotional, you know, I'll just be in my room just bawling.
Yeah.
I'll go, you know, I'll either go out for a drive or something, and you know, and I keep a lot of things there so that I remember her. You know, I even keep like her room is I keep her. I mean, to me, people think it's crazy, but hey, it's just me. I keep her room messy.
Yeah.
You know, because it just makes me feel like she's there. You know what I mean? So like, I'll keep her, you know, and it's just like, man, you know, like, all right, she'll be back in here to play in here in 10 days or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And you know, or I'll look at pictures, videos. You know, I stay watching her birth video. You know, when she was born. Excuse me. When she was born, I had my phone in one hand and a little mini camcorder in the other hand, and she was born cesarean. I'm just there, just literally just with my phone just on camera, just legit just snapping. I probably snapped a good 150 photos.
Yeah.
And I'm there with the camcorder, you know what I mean? And, you know, I got a picture of her that, you know, one of my favorite pictures, you know, when she was born and getting all the gunk wiped off of her. She grabbed my finger and pulled it to her cheek. You know, I had a friend paint that, so that's a painting on the wall. You know, so I look at all these things that I got, you know, and I just try to stay focused. So you know what I mean, and just keep my eye on the prize. You know, and the prize is being a dad.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's a really important tip for other fathers that are experiencing that. Being away from your child, you have to create ways to be able to relive the memories as often as possible.
Yeah.
That's a big thing I battle with, man, because I have not adapted to this phone thing. My son is here all summer, and I think I had one picture last time he came.
Oh, wow.
But I battle with it because I spend so much time reading and watching videos, meditating, and just being comfortable with being in the moment.
Right.
I feel like grabbing the camera is taking me out of the moment.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I get it too, because it's like a lot of times too, you know, you want to, you know, you don't want to, you know, especially with, you know, the kids that we're raising, you know, a lot, I mean, it's a technology age now, you know, and, you know, there's been times where, you know, and I'm breaking my daughter out of it, you know, she'll just be there. And like when I'm working, you know, a few hours, I don't mind her being on the phone, but then I'm like, hey, baby girl,
something else.
Yeah, put the phone down. Let's, you know, let's do this. And, you know, and I have her excited for, you know, this entrepreneur fair that's coming up, this kid entrepreneur fair. So I talked to her tonight, you know, and, you know, she's making bracelets and, you know.
I asked, what's her idea?
Yeah, bracelets. Yeah. You know, so I'm waiting on stuff from Temu and whatnot. And she's like, Dad, I made 5 bracelets today. I'm like, all right, good, baby girl. It's like, remember your goal is 50 bracelets, you know, and, you know, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so, actually get to start utilizing her LLC that I created for her. I created her an LLC when she was 2 years old. You know, she's 10 now, so her LLC is about 8 years old, you know, so.
Is this organization hosting some type of event where the children get to have like actual booths where they set up their ideas and sell things?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's, you know, any kid entrepreneur, you know, they get to, still finalizing, getting the details all done, but I believe, you know, they can purchase, you know, a booth or a table or whatever, sell their goods and, you know, learn and, you know, get that entrepreneur.
Yeah. Are you self-employed yourself? Or?
I am. Yeah. Well, tonight, yeah.
So is this an opportunity where you're showing her a lot of what you already know, or do you find yourself like relearning some things along the way?
I'm teaching her. Yeah, I'm kind of teaching her like just how to work for yourself. Like she tells me, she's like, Dad, I want to be a veterinarian. I'm like, I'll say, how about you own your own veterinary clinic? And I said, don't work for somebody else. Have people work for you. And try to instill those things in her mind. You know what I mean? So, just teach her to be the boss, not have a boss.
Right. I think that's real cool that you do the affirmations.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to, especially, being a, young Black girl in Arizona, especially Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an issue for her in the schools?
I don't think so as much now, still a little young, you know what I mean? So, she's starting to experiencing those growing pains that she's going to as a early preteen, she is one of the tallest in her grade, as a girl too. She's taller than probably 95% of her grade.
Right.
There's maybe like one or two people, probably one or two boys. I think she's the tallest girl in her grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's why I tell her, I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're different, but you're you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Embrace that.
You feel like their school experience is more or less integrated than yours was? You didn't grow up out here?
I kind of grew up a little bit around. I grew up kind of like here in South Carolina a little bit. But I did finish high school in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Up there, and I've been to 5 high schools. Went to Glendale High School out here, middle school, lived around the valley, Paradise Valley, Tempe, Glendale.
Yeah.
And then lived in South Carolina, but I want to say Glendale, like living over in the west side was a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty integrated,
Yeah.
A huge mix.
Sometimes I almost feel like it's worse now sometimes. Kids do some real crazy things.
It's definitely different. Yeah, it's definitely different now.
Man, well, I definitely appreciate your time, man. I think this is a good spot to close it out.